Bold and the Beautiful read for the part of Storm.
No, I didn't. Where'd you read that?
The Bold and the Beautiful book that I got in L.A.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the soap opera book we both have.
No, this one was a different one. Fascinating read. Best $7.50 I spent.
That was probably close to like 30 when it first came out.
Well, I mean, it could be like this one right here seems like it's a prized possession.
Ooh.
Because found out that one I paid 40 and people will pay 100. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll save that for a little bit.
I was gonna say you should sell it.
I just fell in love with Knox Landing. I can't sell it now.
What is it, an episode guide?
I don't even think it's an episode guide. I haven't read it, so I don't know.
Well, happy St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, yes. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you. I think you went and had a beer. I'm having a Diet Coke.
I had a couple beers, and now I'm having vodka.
Also, girl feeling good tonight.
Yeah, what's the saying? Beer before liquor, never been sicker. Wish me luck.
I don't know. I don't drink beer.
I totally forgot about St. Patrick's Day because Jessica used to take care of the corned beef and cabbage. So yesterday I was like, fuck, I didn't get corned beef. So I went out to eat.
Well, there you go.
But so what are we talking about tonight?
Ooh, we are revisiting our Gone Too Soon segment, and we are talking about
Gone Too Soon.
I know, I do too, but it kind of makes me sad at the same time because I'm falling in love with a show that is gone too soon. So,
well, luckily with this, the Gone Too Soon, there's the second season.
I know that's a full season.
Yeah.
How much you want to bet? It ends on a cliffhanger, but we're just going to take it for what it is. But Savannah, we're in my neck of the woods. We're in the South.
Yeah, we're talking about Savannah, episodes 3 and 4, because we covered the pilot a couple of months ago. Can you believe a couple of months have gone by since we watched it?
No, I was like,
man, so busy. I just feel like time is flying.
I had to try to rethink. I'm like, okay, what happened? And I was like, oh, Bunny, good.
All right, well, let's roll the credits and we'll start talking about it.
So, these two episodes, 3 and 4, oh my gosh, were they good?
I feel like this is how I remember the show being. It was just good like this. Like, this is how every episode is. I was thinking about it this morning, and I was like, my one complaint, and I think we said this in the episode that last time we talked about it, was that the pilot did not need to be an hour and a half.
Yeah.
They could have condensed all of that into one episode.
They could have, very much so, yes.
So last we left off, Reese, the blonde's name is Reese, right?
Yes.
Was going to marry her longtime boyfriend, Travis, and she was saving herself for marriage. And she has her two best friends, Peyton and Lane there. Mm-hmm. And little does she know that her good friend Peyton is sleeping with her fiance.
I know.
And he calls her by a little nickname, Bunny.
I'm not sure why. I kind of want to know why he calls her Bunny.
Do you?
Yeah, because I asked the question to myself and was like, I need an answer. It's probably disturbing.
So he gives her a bracelet, which she finds out is fake, doesn't she? Because doesn't she have it appraised?
Mm-hmm. And was she pissed? I would have been too. Be like, not only.
So she arranged for Reese to find the bracelet after the marriage and after she gave up her virginity, to find out that Travis was having an affair with another woman named Bunny.
Which in this episode we find out he wasn't just cheating on Reese, he was cheating on Peyton and probably a couple of other girls.
So when we last saw them, Peyton and Travis had an altercation where he was drunk and he kind of came at her aggressively and she broke a bottle over his head and thought she killed him. Mm-hmm. So she stuffed him in her trunk and was going to dispose of the body.
As one does when, they get in a bind.
and
I'm just kidding.
she got a flat tire, and the local, I think he's just a cop. I don't think he's anything
He's a
special.
detective, I think.
Oh, is he? I don't even remember his name.
So,
Do you remember his name?
I did for a moment, and then you asked as that goes.
Well,
Lane's old boyfriend from high school. We'll just
yeah.
call him policeman.
Yeah, stops to help her, and she's freaking out because she has a body in the trunk, and he
As one
wants to
would
change
do.
the tire for her, and she's like, "No, the spare is flat." Also, like, I mean, so
See,
they
now,
go into.
if you were in the big city, they would have just said, okay, fine, do it yourself. But no, in the South, we have to be all Southern gentlemen and, ruin it.
So they go into town to get another tire. He changes the flat. He goes to put the flat tire in the trunk, and she's freaking out because the body's there, only to find that the body is not there now.
Mm-hmm. And it's like,
And he's like, "You had a spare the whole time."
jolly, gee,
And she's just like,
officer, I
"What the
didn't know.
fuck?"
Who would have known there was a tire in my trunk? I
So
gotta say,
that's where
I
that's where we open, pretty
I love
much.
Peyton. I love her accent. No,
So do you think she
yeah,
comes off Southern, or do you think it just comes off as like a fake Southern accent?
I think she comes off Southern.
Yeah.
I've known friends that sound like kind of more like she does. But if you watch Melrose Place, she seems kind of Southern in Melrose Place as well.
So maybe that's just Jamie Lunar, and I didn't
I was
realize
gonna
it.
say, I wonder where Jamie Lunar is from.
I felt like she was a California girl.
Well, then, good job with that accent, darling.
But I do love the way she sounds. Um,
Oh yeah, she's from California. Good work, honey.
so she doesn't know where the body is.
Mm-mm.
Um, turns out Travis was thrown in the river by somebody because his body washes up. Um, and I was cracking up when they were looking at coffins and urns, and the father was like, "Money's no object," and he was like, "What's the
Which
cheapest
one
urn
did
you
that was my favorite part too. I was like, you know what? That's what he deserves.
have?" um,
I would have been like, here's a Ziploc bag. Can you just put the ashes in there? I'll pick it up when it's done.
so Peyton works at a bar because that's the bar that Travis had approached her at, and a friend of his lets it be known that Travis used to record his sexual escapades.
Mm-hmm.
So now she's freaking out because Travis is now dead and washed up, and they're looking for the killer, and she thinks she killed him.
Isn't it
And now
like
she's worried that she's going to be found out that she's Bunny.
when you see the setup for how he's filming them, like it's behind a mirror, there's a cut, and nowadays it's like a little camera this big
Mm-hmm.
and it goes to the cloud.
Right?
It's funny to watch these 90s shows and see how much like technology has changed and just
I probably thought way too much into this. I'm like, so is that a double-sided mirror? Like,
no, I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, wow,
um,
he put in a lot of work just to film,
so
without their knowledge. So that's, already
I'm
makes
assuming she had a key to his apartment for their rendezvous.
oh, probably.
So she goes to his apartment to go and find her tape. And she finds a tape with Reese's name on it. And she's just like, huh, hypocrite. And she thinks that maybe Reese gave it up before the wedding, only
Uh-huh.
to watch it and it be Reese being like, no, we have to wait till marriage or whatever. So she finds a VHS that just says Bunny on it and just takes that and leaves.
Mm-hmm.
And when she goes home to watch it, it's the movie It's a Wonderful Life.
I was thinking he taped over. I was like, he
So
taped
did
over.
I. I was like, oh, he recorded
I was
over it.
like,
Yes.
okay, I know this is wrong, but I'd be so pissed if someone took my tape and
Okay,
taped
that's what
It's
I
a
thought.
Wonderful Life over it.
That's what I was thinking too. This is how I know we're friends.
It's like,
Because
I
I
know
was
this
like,
is wrong, but I'm still more mad at you for taping over my sex tape.
yes, because that's what I thought. Because I don't remember what happened, so I thought like she was gonna be like he recorded over my tape. Because I would admit too.
Like these things are
Also,
like
because I would want to see which time he recorded it.
and I'd probably be going, I wonder if I was on my A game or was I tired today?
But then she ejects the tape to find that it says It's a Wonderful Life. So now she's freaking out because he's returned the sex tape in the It's a Wonderful Life box.
That moment, not because that's happened to me. That's never happened to me. But just the thought of I remember always being scared I was going to return the wrong VHS or DVD and was going to return one of mine that I paid for. Oh, it made me think of things like that. I know that's stupid, but
I don't think I stressed too much about that, but I definitely checked and double checked that it was the right DVD.
Mm-hmm.
So she goes to the video store, and God, I love the 90s TV shows because it just makes me remember videos like Blockbuster. And
I think if they came back out with some video stores just for the nostalgia feel, people would go back to them.
I was thinking about it today because I was like, when did video stores start? Because I feel like the early 80s, not everybody had a VCR.
Well, or
so
you
maybe
had
it was more like a mid to late 80s and 90s thing, video stores.
what for? Like you either had VHS or Betamax.
Yeah, we didn't have that. If we did, I didn't know about it.
It was I think of it in terms of Blu-ray versus the HD. Like when they were trying to bring out the other form of it. I don't know, but like it was VHS went out. I think because it was easier, more accessible.
Yeah, I was still going to Blockbuster till like at least 2006 or 7.
I never had a
because then Netflix came around, like original Netflix, where like they would
where you had to mail.
Yeah,
man, we're still.
And then this is what all I thought about this morning was like original Netflix, video stores, and then I was like thinking about like when red boxes. Did you guys have red boxes by you?
We do. Mm-hmm. We still do.
I still see them, but not as often. I feel like they've been taken away slowly, but they're still around. Red boxes.
Yeah.
Usually outside like a 7-Eleven or some convenience store or whatever.
It's crazy. We're so used to instant gratification now when it comes to our stuff just dropping that waiting 3 to 5 days for a DVD in the mail. I remember getting so excited, like, who the red? Like, if you saw red in the mailbox, woo! Like movie night.
So Peyton's got the best luck. Like, she gets away with everything on pure luck.
She sure does.
So she goes to the video store, and there's a guy working there. First, she calls the video store and has them hold it for her because there's only one copy.
And so I've been there too. When they're like, "I'll hold it for you," and then you get there, they give the fucker away. You're like, "I called."
And that kid did not care. That worker, he was just like, "Oh well." But she manages to stop the woman who rented it and warn her that, well, she lies and says she works at the video store, and that they mixed up the tapes and that her children are gonna get an education that they're not old enough to get. And she pays her $10 for a $3 rental.
I thought it was $5.
I mean, it may have been $5.
Oh,
whatever it was more than $3.
I know, because I remember the woman going, "Ooh, okay."
She's like buying popcorn and candy, whatever. So that was just pure luck. Like, honestly,
who just randomly rents? And this is where my mind goes, because it's not Christmas time. Who just randomly rents It's a Wonderful Life for like a Friday night?
Maybe we should start podcasting less because I thought the exact same thing. We hang out too much. I was like, that's a Christmas movie. I'm like, this was January, maybe February. Who's renting It's a Wonderful Life?
And then when you also think about it, it's Travis rented It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah.
But okay, yeah, whatever.
Tom wins the what is it called? The riverboat.
Mm-hmm. I've never been on a riverboat.
I haven't either.
They made it look like fun. I want to go on one.
It looks big. There's like a ballroom and
Sure,
everything.
sure did.
um, I think Tom's so cute. I don't know.
I do. I go back and forth, but in these episodes,
So he won it in a poker match, which we find out he cheated to get it.
which I
And
mean, we learned he's not the most stand-up guy to begin with. So,
well, we've always known that. Him
yeah,
and his
that's what I'm
partner are
saying.
con artists.
You
Yeah.
know, he's trying to sell him a
Um,
horse that isn't his.
yeah. And I don't know if it was this episode or the next one, but he's just so mad that Richard's his name, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it Richard? Or it is? It's not Peyton Richards. That's not her name. You're gonna look it up. Ray Wise. He's just so mad that Ray
Edward.
Wise.
His name's Edward Burton.
Edward. Yeah, because I think Richards is Peyton's last name,
Mm-hmm.
which is
I
very
was already looking
confusing
up
because
Savannah.
there's Gregory Richards on Sunset Beach. It's just very. We watch too much stuff.
We watched so much.
He's like so upset that Edward is not more upset that he lost the riverboat.
Mm-hmm.
Because
I would have been. I'd been like, my riverboat. I lost, but I mean, he had a $20,000 egg that he,
yeah.
Well, that's next episode, so we won't talk about that just yet. So this man clearly got money. He got that old money, that old South money.
Yeah. The girls convince Reese to still go on her honeymoon. I think Elaine was gonna. No, Lane.
Lane. I loved it when she was like, "Travis paid for it. When we leaving?"
Because Travis was supposed to be her financial advisor, and he stole her trust fund money.
I will say, Travis has one of those faces that it's very cute, so it's very easy to probably feel like you could trust. You can't trust cuteness or hotness. If they sexy, don't trust them. There's my new rule. If they sexy, don't trust them.
So they're going to leave on the honeymoon, the girls' trip. I don't think Peyton was going though.
No, she was
going to see them off at the airport. And then Cop Friend comes, and why does he stop them?
Because they found out that Travis was dead before he went in the water. And
because he didn't have sand in his lungs?
Yeah. And Lane and Reese both have motive.
That's why he stopped them. Right.
I mean,
so then Peyton's all like, and that's how it ended.
I feel for Peyton because I'm just like, that poor girl. One, her mama acts like she likes Reese a whole lot better. Two, she's living in Reese's shadow. I'd be the same way.
So the next episode 4.
Oh my god, I was not expecting a reveal this early.
Okay, that's at the end. Don't skip too far.
I'm not skipping. I'm just saying, this episode, I was like, what the hell? Like, what? I was like, there's got to be more. There's got to be more to this story. Aaron Spelling would never give something away this soon.
Right. I think they were trying to be like Melrose Place. I think they were just trying to do something shocking every episode.
Yeah. Well, they shock me.
Because I'm pretty sure the show pretty much has like a shocking cliffhanger every episode going forward. So a lot of this episode was centered around Cop Friend investigating everybody, questioning them, trying to like figure out like their alibis, their motives, whatever. Lane so I guess in the pilot, is when they showed that Lane was it painkillers because she had like a tooth
Yeah.
pulled or something.
Yeah.
And Cop Friend kind of clocked that and remembered that. And they found out that Travis had drugs in his system,
Hmm.
and Lane dropped or lost her drugs, so she's arrested as a suspect as a, for being the murderer of Travis.
Hmm.
Um, and Reese wants to bail her out because that's her best friend, and Edward's like, "How would that look? Um, you being the widow of the murder victim, bailing her girlfriend out." But she goes against Daddy's wishes, and
Thank goodness.
she bails her friend out. And Edward notices that his Fabergé egg is missing. So we're kind of led to believe for a little bit that Reese kind of pawned the Fabergé egg for the
Uh-huh.
money. And I was like,
Actually,
would she have done that? I was kind of like second guessing it. I was like, I don't know.
I was thinking, oh, we're gonna find out she stole it. And it's gonna be like, ooh. But then you find out she just did the legit thing and mortgaged her the spare house they have. That was her
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 mother's
gift.
house.
I was like, man, it must be nice to just be gifted a house.
um, what was going on with Peyton?
Peyton was trying to, Bunny came back to town. Or well, fake Bunny
Bunny.
came back to town.
Fake Bunny came back to town.
Yeah. Fake Bunny came back to town.
And I
And
kept
Peyton,
wondering, just because of like, she was like a busty blonde. I was like, I wonder if she was like a legitimate like Playboy playmate or like something like that in the 90s.
well, nothing against what I'm about to say to that, because I was going to say this before you mentioned that. Her acting just wasn't that great.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It was very just fake, I
I
guess.
mean, a lot of the Playboy playmates usually ended up on Baywatch.
I never
So,
paid attention to them. And nothing against her. She seems like a wonderful person.
bless her heart.
Bless her heart. I just felt like her delivery, like maybe it's because she was next to Jamie Lunar,
Jamie
and I
Lunar,
just,
yeah.
it's like she was trying to be Southern, but it was like she wasn't Southern.
Okay, so she comes back. Meanwhile, she left in the second part of the pilot. So she's only been gone for an episode, and she's like, LA didn't work out. I'm like, girl, you didn't even try. You were gone for a week.
I was like, I was there for 4 days. It worked out fine for me.
She said, I laughed. She was like, my boyfriend's apartment wasn't big enough for me and his wife. I was like, what?
It's like, that's why LA didn't work out. You
So she
found out
came
your
back
boyfriend had a
to
wife,
work the pole again.
which, hey, let me lose a few pounds. I'll be working that pole too. Up and down. Many times I gotta go. That sounds a little more dirtier than I was thinking because, yeah, it really came out dirtier.
So she's trying to blackmail Peyton for more money. And we find out that Peyton is the one that stole the.
Mm-hmm.
We won't say stole. She borrowed the Fabergé.
I was gonna say yeah, because she never really, I guess, intend. Well, it seemed like she didn't intend for it to give it to her. Because Peyton had to know you couldn't sell something that valuable without it being
Yeah.
known.
Well, okay, I'm actually kind of skipping over something.
Oh, okay.
So when Bunny first approaches her at Peyton's job about wanting more money, Peyton gets it in her head that she's gonna, I guess, take money from the safe at her job from her boss.
Oh, mm-hmm.
And when she goes to do that, she gets caught by her boss, and she makes up this lie that she's always had a thing for him. And I felt a little icky about this.
I was like,
She's
girl, you gonna have to
she
work for him afterwards.
she slept with him in order to kind of distract him, and that made me feel icky. Because like I just feel like a woman shouldn't feel like she has to like have sex in order to. I don't know. It just made me feel icky.
No, I got what you're saying.
And then I thought about Knots Landing, and I was like, well, I'm sure Abby, I can't remember a specific thing, but I'm sure Abby has done it. So I guess if, in a way, it's not non-consensual. I don't know. I just feel like a woman shouldn't feel like she has to have sex
Well,
in order to get what she wants.
we're gay and we're known gay. I mean, we probably are known for sometimes doing things.
Yeah. Sometimes I hate watching old things with 2022 eyes. It doesn't hit the same.
I maybe she kind of like. I feel like she had to be a little attracted to him. Maybe.
Yeah, but then
Maybe
it's also
that's
like you said, now you have to work for him, and you made him think that like you've always had a thing for him. So like,
yeah.
how is
Because
this
now
gonna
it's gonna be
work
like,
going forward?
oh,
Are we just gonna ignore it? Like,
because then you're like, that's an HR issue. No, just
I don't think a CD bar has HR.
well,
He actually seemed like a nice guy. He
he
didn't seem like a
does.
sleazy guy.
I think that's what made it not so bad.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't sleazy. He seems like he cares about Peyton. But then also, I bet she could have just said, "Hey, I'm in a bind. Can I borrow some cash?"
I don't think
Because,
he would have loaned her the amount of money she needed.
well, I mean, he clearly likes her. If he's willing, just I don't know. I don't know how straight men work. Maybe they would just jump into bed with someone.
So like after the sex, while he's sleeping, she sneaks downstairs into the safe, but I guess he deposited the money already because it's not there. So that's when I assume she got the idea to take the Fabergé egg to pawn.
Mm-hmm.
So again, um, cop friend and not Lane, just cop friend. He's doing some investigating. He's trying to find out where Bunny is, who she is, and he kind of asks some of the clientele at the bar if they know anybody named Bunny. He lies and says it's his sister. He shows them a picture of her, and he kind of gets information about where she's staying.
And
So
boy, I
then,
mean, he works fast not having the internet. I was like,
right?
damn, dude, good detective work. Granted, her photo was right there in the middle of that newspaper ad. So,
So he goes to Fake Bunny's apartment with Reese because he wants Reese to confront her and or say that like Travis left her something in his will or something to kind of
mhm.
like trick her or something. Maybe just trick her into confessing that she's Bunny. I don't know. But he gets a call to go to Edward's house because I guess he's reporting that the Fabergé egg is missing. And again, Peyton's luck. Just as they're leaving, Peyton's pulling up to meet up with Fake Bunny. Like,
Mhm.
what great timing. So she meets up with Fake Bunny, and instead of giving her money, she gives her the Fabergé egg and says it's worth at least $100,000. And that she should chop it around and see what she can get for it. Um, Bunny has a smart woman because I think she's like, this is clearly stolen. I'm not gonna try and sell this. Like, call me when you have the money.
But you know,
But
but
not before handing it to Fake Bunny and having her touch it.
mhm. But I mean, that was kind of smart on Peyton's.
Yeah, I was
Mm.
so let it be noted that Peyton called her from a payphone. RIP payphones.
That's like probably one of the nastiest things there are. I don't
Oh,
RIP. I
I
don't
can't believe I used to
RIP
use
payphones.
them. Ugh.
Could you
And I didn't even have
imagine
like a
payphone?
Lysol wipe to wipe it with before I used it.
Yeah, Ma- just yeah. I was in a. I don't RIP payphones.
I used to call 1-800 collect.
Who are you calling?
Okay, so this is what I used to do because I was a badass child. I pretended to be good, but I was bad. So I used to because my grandmother raised me and she was very overprotective. Like if I was going to a friend's house, the parents had to be there. She had to talk to the parents. Like it was crazy. So what I used to do starting in junior high was I used to go to the library and call her collect from the payphone at the library so that the caller ID in my head would read the library and say that I was studying at the library and then go to my friend's house.
My mom probably would have just been happy if I was leaving the house.
She's probably like, I don't understand why he's not a straight A student. He's always at the library.
He wasn't studying the things you thought he was studying.
But anyway, R.I.P. R.I.P. cell phones, R.I.P. payphones.
To you, R.I.P. payphones.
But anyway, so she calls Fake Bunny from a payphone and lets her know that she should leave town and she's not getting a cent out of her because her fingerprints are all over that Fabergé egg. And when they report it stolen, they'll trace it right back to her.
Oh, last thing about payphones. I will say in movies and televisions, I do kind of miss them because you get that like shady kind of the mysterious call. Yeah, so I miss that aspect of them, but I'm not using one.
Did you see the movie Phone Booth with Colin Farrell and Katie Holmes?
Saw the cover, didn't take it any farther.
That may have been the last time I clocked a payphone in cinema. So what was that like? It was after Dawson's Creek, so it was probably like 2003, 2004.
Smallville, I think, had payphones for a little bit because Superman changes.
Yeah, I always wanted to get into Smallville, and it never held my attention.
I liked it.
Side note: Lois and Clark: The New Adventures of Superman's on HBO Max. You're welcome.
I own the DVDs, but for those who do not, you're welcome.
I do not, so thank you to myself.
That was one of my favorite shows as a kid. I mean, it came on at like 6 and 7 in the morning. So the nights during summer when I would stay up all night long into the morning hours, that's when I would watch it.
Okay, I had a huge crush on 90s Dean Cain. It was the slick back greasy hair. It always did it for me.
I know. I always liked Jimmy.
Yeah, Justin Whalen. All right.
I don't know why. I did.
He was Savannah.
It's probably because of Susie Q, which Disney Plus needs to put Susie Q on its platform.
Yeah, with the pink Power Ranger. Oh my god, love Amy Jo Johnson. Love her.
Oh, when they fall off the bridge and die. So sad. It's not,
All right, back to Savannah. So, while Cop Friend is doing his investigating, he goes to Richard's house, and he's trying to search the house for the Fabergé egg. Anyway, it could have been misplaced, and he's in Peyton's mother's room, and he's in her closet, and he finds a pill. One of Elaine. I keep wanting to call her Elaine because I'm thinking about Sunset Beach. Lane's pill.
If her closet wouldn't have been so clean, he wouldn't have found that pill. That's all I'm going to say. It was too tidy, too neat. That's why, yep. If he would have had a few more extra shoes there or something.
So they end up in the garage, and he's in Peyton's mother's car, and he finds a little blood stain on the seat.
Real quick, did you think of his logic as this egg? He's looking in the closets. Okay, maybe it could end up there somehow. The garage, $100,000 egg just magically ends up in the garage accidentally.
Well, I think the pill in the closet is what made him think maybe I should check the mother's car. I think that's
because he's technically off the case. Yeah.
Yeah. Because he's got romantic feelings for Lane. So he finds a little blood stain on the car, and then he flips the seat back. I guess something pops back, and he finds a cufflink with Travis's initials, which he takes a handkerchief and picks it up, and I was good. I was that's good detective work because you don't want your fingerprints on it.
For Peyton's mother to be have been a maid, or I guess over the maids or house staff or whatever.
I think she was the housekeeper, and she's been there so long she just runs the house.
Well, a little sloppy. Clearly not so good at her job.
Yeah. So he asks her how the Coughlin got in the car, and you could just see her face drop, and she kind of gets emotional, and she kind of incriminates herself
Oh yeah,
without
this was
saying I
my
did
first.
it by saying, doesn't she say something like he hurt Reese? She doesn't even like mention Peyton. She just like says Reese.
Mhm. Well, I think she had to throw him off of Peyton's, track.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was there till I was like one. I went, whoa, the butler did it. Not she's not a butler, but just thinking of Clue.
So this was your first shock that the mother did it,
I was like,
and
what?
so soon.
I was like, this is episode 4. What are we gonna do for the other 9 episodes?
And in some ways, this is only week 3 because the pilot was an hour and a half.
So I was like, whoa. But that wasn't the first. That wasn't the last shock of the day episode.
No, so she's arrested for the murder, and Peyton's in the cell with her, just like talking, like, how could you do this? And she says that he came to the house drunk. She saw the pills, slipped them in his drink. It didn't knock him out, surprisingly. He left drunk. She followed him to the bar.
Well, she
She
said she
did,
went to go get something, and that's when Travis left. And
yeah.
that's when she followed him to the bar.
She didn't see Peyton attack him, but she did see her putting him in the trunk, and she followed them. And then as we saw, Peyton went to go get a tire with cop friend, and that's when she took the body and threw him in the river.
I was just like, though, I still didn't get it. Though I was like, why would she? He just technically cheated on Reese.
Mm-hmm.
Is all we really? I mean, stole Lane's money, yes, but like nothing that would. I mean, he just cheated on her. Not saying that's bad or worse than anything else, but this woman who really is no connection besides just being the housekeeper to Reese is murdering her ex-husband. Or
Yeah, so Peyton thinks that she really did do it for Reese because that was the excuse she gave, and she says, "I didn't do it for Reese. I did it for you."
mm-hmm.
And
I'm
she
like,
said he dug deep into all of his clients' backgrounds, and he had dirt on everybody to blackmail them if he wanted to. And apparently, he knew the little secret that Peyton is Edward's daughter.
and I was just like, okay, I should have saw that. I should have seen that coming. I should have seen that coming. But I was kind of just like,
you were just in shock that it came so fast.
yeah, I was just like, oh my god, 2 major reveals in 4 episodes.
And
What is this,
literally
Sunset
in like
Beach?
a 10-minute span.
Yeah. Like, man, it's like I'm watching the first week of Sunset Beach again. I'm not used to stuff, being revealed. I mean, that took us 22 episodes to find out why Mary Alice killed herself, on Desperate Housewives. That's what I love about an Aaron Spelling show.
Well, plus it was a mid-season replacement. It was 12 episodes. They were probably just like, we just gotta like churn it out.
Maybe. Well, it was a new network too.
Yeah.
I would have thought they were kind of in. So I didn't feel like it. I'm shocked it didn't last a little bit longer because it was their first drama, I think. So maybe
They promoted the hell out of it. Like, even I don't know what copy you saw. I don't know if it was the ones I gave you or if it was YouTube.
When you gave me.
But the ads in between commercial breaks, they're just like Savannah, 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 Savannah.
The little frog at the beginning.
Oh my god, I missed the frog.
When he was like, comedies on Wednesday night. Right now, put the kiddos away. It's Savannah, or whatever it is. I was like, oh my god, I never thought I'd miss the frog.
Yeah.
I miss the quirkiness of the 90s.
I love just seeing the WB logo again.
Seeing that on my TV just brings back so many fond
It just
memories.
brings me back to my childhood.
Mine too. Because that was my channel. I don't think I watched almost every show on that network.
Me too, because there weren't shows every night. Like slowly, they were adding nights,
Mhm.
like every TV season.
I mean,
So
even if
yeah,
I didn't watch it when it first aired, I at some point watched. The only one Seventh Heaven. I still can't. Ugh.
I did until like maybe the end of high school because that was like a thing me and my family did.
That's like the one Aaron Spelling show I can't watch.
It's rough, but we watched it.
Well, down in the South, that was good, wholesome television. So, a
Yeah,
lot of people watched it.
that's the kind of show my grandmother was hoping that's all I was watching, but I wasn't. I was watching Buffy and like
Dawson's
Dawson's
Creek,
Creek.
Charmed. Oh, man, the
Sleep
memories.
watching the last few seasons of 90210. Strangely enough, I never got to see Melrose Place in the 90s. I didn't watch Melrose Place
Crazy.
until it was on. I caught a few reruns when they were airing it on E over
Hmm.
one summer, but it was like the first season, so it wasn't like really Melrose. Um, but yeah, DVD was the first time I got to see Melrose.
I was going cleaning through my room when I was younger, and I found a tape that said Melrose on it. I was like, wow, I have been watching this show a long time. I didn't realize I would tape that episodes.
Uh huh.
I was a kid. I should not have been taping Melrose Place.
Well,
But
that's your mother's
whatever.
fault.
My mom loves you, so you better take that back.
No, I love her too.
She'd probably be like,
But she was
her.
like, "I'm watching Melrose, so like, if you want to watch it too, it's fine."
Well, when I asked her about that, she's like, I watched it. It was not, for the time, maybe they would say it's bad. It wasn't bad.
It is and it isn't. Because even watching it now, I'm like, it's not terrible, but the sex scenes could be a little racy.
Well, I had my virginity till 26, so it did nothing to make me sexually
And
promiscuous.
you didn't watch Seventh Heaven, so there you go.
So
But you
see,
did watch Melrose Place.
if I would have watched Seventh Heaven, I'd probably no telling what could. No, I'm just kidding. Oh goodness! As I share too much information with everybody, there's nothing wrong with waiting till
Here
you
I
find the
am
right
watching
person.
Seventh Heaven, but not Melrose Place, and I lost it at 19.
Roles were reversed.
And it wasn't even in a romantic way. It was like revenge sex.
Well, mine was a little more romantic.
I didn't even care. I
Well,
was like, fuck it. I want to make you angry.
oh, how Peyton of you.
I was going for more like a Valerie Malone vibe.
See, and I'm more of, I guess, Elaine.
Elaine. Okay.
If we're, I'd want to be a Peyton, but I'd be Elaine.
At my first boyfriend used to say all the time, he's like, "You're fucking Valerie." I'm like, I know. Thanks. It's what I aspire to be.
You're a Valerie. I'm so Adonna. Of course, I want to be the one that gets, the mermaid outfit. This will be a great costume, and then get stuck setting in one position during the whole costume party. Or I'll wear a dress that would pop up over my head every time I turn around.
And you're a virgin for 7 seasons.
Oh,
Dad, I'm
man.
30 years old. Let me have sex.
Yep, that's me. I'm the Donna Martin of the group.
But
I
so yeah,
love it.
these episodes are really good, and it kind of made me remember why I like the show. Because I have to be honest, the pilot, I was like, it's good, but I don't know if I would keep watching.
As I said, if they would have cut it down a little bit, it would have been better.
That was like Aaron Spellman's thing. Like
Yeah,
his
2 hour.
pilots were always like movies.
Mhm.
But I've noticed that about a lot of his shows with the two-parters, even like they're like the 2-hour finales, the first hour is always kind of like drag, and then
Yeah.
the second hour is like the show.
Especially Melrose Place. Ooh,
Yeah.
some good ones.
It's just like this didn't need to be 2 hours. It could have been separate.
I'm actually not a fan of the longer pilots. I'm just not. I'm like, it's a TV show. Just make another episode.
Yeah.
If you hook me with the first 45 minutes, you're good.
But even the 2-hour finales aren't even Aaron Spelling specific, because I've noticed that on other shows when they try to do that. It drags for the first hour and like the second part
Mm-hmm.
is the finale. It's like it didn't need to be like that.
Yeah.
But so how would you rate this week? Or these 2 weeks, I should say, episode 3 and 4.
8. I'll give it an 8.
I think that's fair. Because they were very good.
They were, especially episode 4. To me, episode 3 brought the comedy aspect.
Mm-hmm.
And episode 4 brought the drama and the what the moments.
But like Peyton's luck, like that's just like a staple of the show. Like things that could, if her timing is just so perfect that things could, if they had gone a certain way, it'd be totally different. Even when with the boss, she just was like, I made a mental note to bring this up because when she was like flirting with him, going to kiss him, she was like, "Let's go upstairs, sugar." I was like, "Sugar."
I like how
it actually made me think of Queer Magnolias, their opening when they're like, "Get comfortable, Shug."
That's one thing they do, I think, to make her sound a little more southern. Darling, sugar.
Mm-hmm.
Just little things like that in this. My mom once worked at a place and got in trouble because she didn't say like little things like that to the customers.
Really?
Yeah, there was another coworker who'd be like, she'd be like, "Oh, hey baby, hey sugar," and my mom didn't do that, and the owner was like, "You're not his friend." My mom's like, "I don't know, like not everyone has to say sugar or baby." That wasn't my mom. I remember her telling me, I was like, "What the fuck? What?" All right. So, the South, we do things so differently.
Why do I love shows based in the South so much?
I don't know. I do too. I'm from here and I like it because it doesn't get like it has a. It kind of romanticizes some of it. Savannah really romanticizes the South, and yeah, I've never been to Savannah, so I can't say anything. I don't know what Savannah's like.
I've never been to Georgia. I had a layover, but that doesn't count.
I've been through Georgia.
Going to Arkansas, actually.
I've been to Georgia, driven through Atlanta, but that was before it was like a big Hollywood hub. But I've never just like visited Georgia and just went sightseeing.
Based off of the location, I would assume that they actually shot in Savannah, or in Georgia at least.
If they didn't film in Georgia, props, because it looks like they did.
Mm-hmm. I think they did, because I think I remember reading an article where they interviewed Jamie Luner, because it was a hit. The first season was a hit.
Oh yeah,
I don't know what happened in the second season that it got canceled.
Didn't they move nights?
Maybe, but like with the limited programming, it couldn't have been that hard to find.
True, but it's crazy.
People had other things to watch on the night that it came on. I don't know.
It came out on Sunday, which I don't know if Sunday was like it used to be. I feel like not a great place to be.
Again, okay, so remember how we were saying how like ABC should like return with like their Sunday soap block, like because they have Revenge, Desperate Housewives. Savannah was on Sundays. I think Sundays is like a good night for soaps.
Sundays a good night. Soaps. If it's done correctly.
They got to bring it back.
I know. That's the CW. It's been long enough. They should reboot it. The CW should reboot it. Or
The
Paramount
CW
Plus.
is a lot different than when it started out. Right now, it's very superhero show like centered.
I know this is to me Savannah related because it's talking about the network that half of the network. When the first president of the CW had it, she was going for that kind of creating like what Freeform was doing is very female driven. That's the kind of thing she wanted. That's why we had like Gossip Girl and all those shows like that. But when this president took over, he started to kind of diversify it a little bit. But then I feel like it just now has become super, like you said, superhero. I
Yeah,
think that's the problem with the CW is it has an identity crisis. Because at first
there's
it
been
was
a few like shows that have slipped in because there was like this overlap of like the old and
mhm,
the new. Like once Gossip Girl and 90210 were on, the Vampire Diaries was still around, but that's like supernatural, so that kind of
mhm.
falls in like the comic book superhero
But see,
whatever.
during that time was when I felt like they're at their best. It has a little bit of everything, just how the WB was. Like
Yeah,
you could like witchy stuff, vampires, soapy stuff, still have a little comedy. Like that was when to me the WB was the heyday.
yeah. The WB had like a lot of supernatural stuff, but they also had well, Seventh Heaven, um,
Let's not talk about that disgrace to the
and
television.
Dawson's Creek, and Felicity, which were kind of grounded in reality. And I feel like right now the closest thing they have to that is the new Dynasty, because even
How
Riverdale is kind of off the rails.
how sad is it when your closest show to reality is Dynasty?
Well, Roswell's about aliens. Is that show still on, Roswell?
Mhm. It got picked up for another season.
Ugh, I gotta watch that because I love the first season.
I don't see the CW being around too much longer though. They've been
You
having
don't
not with streaming
really,
and that. Yeah. There's even been like talks of it.
really.
I think Paramount, which owns CBS, that I feel like they're
Uh,
wanting to branch out, get away from maybe I don't know, or maybe it was there's articles about it
really.
where it's like, yeah.
Hmm. All right. Well, now we're just like talking about everything in entertainment instead of Savannah, so we should probably just wrap this
Well,
up.
no, the WB could be considered gone too soon. It did not last long enough, only 10 years.
Yeah, I can't believe it was. It felt.
It
I
felt
don't
like it
know.
was my
Did your childhood feel
childhood.
like it was longer than your adulthood? Like, I feel like
My
those 10 years felt like 20, and adulthood has just been flying by.
I know, yeah, and it doesn't get easier. Um, no, yeah, no, I'm with you because I feel like the WB has always been there, like from my just the start of childhood till I mean I graduated in 2005, so it was there with me to 0506.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah, I remember when it ended, and I remember when it said 1996 to 2006. I was like, that's only 10 years. I'm like, that
remember what?
doesn't feel right.
Do you remember when they had their farewell night
Yeah,
and they played Dawson,
I think that's when I
Buffy,
saw that logo.
Angel, and they had like the old little things they did. Oh, I
Yeah.
I, I VCR'd it or recorded
Do
it.
you still have it?
It's probably somewhere. I bet I do. I mean, I mourned that station like it was a friend. It was like I had lost a friend. I remember when
Listen, all I cared about was that One Tree Hill got renewed by the new station. I didn't
that's
care what it
true.
was called.
I remember standing in the living room the day like they were announcing the network up front. I was like hitting refresh, trying
That
to.
might have been the first season that I was like all up in the upfronts. Like, and
I
then it
was just
became
like,
like a yearly
refresh.
tradition.
I the weight of the world was lifted off of my shoulders when it was renewed. It felt like that's how important
I
that show was to me.
I ugly cried when it got renewed for season 8. And then the season 9, I was like, it was such a shock because season 8 just felt so final.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, what?
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't believe, but I was mad that they said ninth and final. I'm like, you couldn't have gone to 10, like an even round
I
number.
know. I thought the same thing, but then also thought I want to go back to. I want to find every person that told me the show wouldn't last long. And be like, suck it, suck it, suck it, suck it, because they tell me One Tree Hill wouldn't last and the OC would be last longer. I was like, no. I said no. One Tree Hill will last longer, and they're like, no,
In
there's no
2003,
way.
I would have been one of those people because you
They're like,
couldn't tell
there's
me nothing. The OC was gonna last for 7 seasons at least.
they, they were like, there's no way this show will One Tree Hill will last longer than the OC. There's just no way. I was like, all right, we'll see. I was right.
All right, well, let's continue this conversation offline. Sorry, everybody. Thank you for taking our trip down memory lane.
I'm sure some people probably love this little trip, this little tangent down memory lane. It's like flipping through a
Happy St.
script.
Patrick's Day.
Yes, go have a beer if you're over 21.
Yes, drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive. Call
Don't
an
be a
Uber or
Peyton.
Lyft, car service.
Don't be a Peyton.
Um,
Not that she
and
didn't drink or drive, I just meant because she gets in trouble.
and thank you for joining us for our Gone Too Soon segment covering Savannah. And we will be back for another few episodes very soon. And until then, see you next time. Night, guys.
Bye.